So I sat there in the doctor's office, just humming a little tune in my head. I got 99 problems, but my sperm is definitely one. It's not the lyrics that Jay-Z initially wrote out, but it's the lyrics that was running through my head that day. And to kind of set the precedent, I didn't grow up in a large family. I had 2 brothers, but my parents grew up in a very large family. Each parent had about 6 brothers, 6 sisters. It was a huge family. Had a lot of cousins, and I was like, this is fun, you know? You get to hang out with your cousins. I got to see them every now and then. We get to play around. It was just fun at the beach, you know, spending time with people your age. You can kind of play around. And I was like, I really like this. Family is like really important to me. And I knew that at a very young age. And I was like, yes, this is something I totally want. And then so as I was growing older, and just like any young adolescent man, I wanted to basically spread my seed as much as possible. Because as a boy growing up, you have this energy inside you. You have this power. And you're like, yes, I want to make sure that I grow my legacy as much as possible. That's right. Unfortunately, as being one of 2 Asian families in a very small redneck town, I didn't have a lot of options in front of me. So even with my wit and my charm, I was bagging maybe 0. But eventually, I did find my way when I joined a choir. I was like, this is a numbers game. It's got to work out for me, right? I mean, there's at least 30 beautiful ladies and like 5 guys. Because choir is not super popular in high school in my town. So eventually, I ended up with somebody. And I was young, you know, but still I had that imagination that I really wanted to be with somebody. And I really wanted to grow this family. So eventually I ended up with somebody in the choir, and we started dating, and she was my first love. She happened to be the first person I had sex with, and I was like, this is the one. I'm totally going to bag this one. We're going to have 10,000 kids, and it's going to be awesome. And so, you know, we dated, you know, we went to prom, and I remember specifically that morning after, I came home, and I was just so tired after spending the night in a hotel with my lovely lady at the time. And I had left the hotel key on the family dining room table. And so when I woke up finally, like 3 p.m., my dad was waiting for me. He was just sitting there. And I was like, shit, this is not going to go well. And so he kind of points to me. He's like, come here. And I was like, all right. Here comes the birds and the bees conversation. It's not going to be pretty. So he kind of puts his hand on my shoulder, and he's like, do you love this girl? I was like, yeah, you know, I'm a young guy. I finally found love. This is my first woman ever. And she blossomed to me in a way. And I was like, yeah, this is going to be the one. So he looked at me straight in the eye, and he was like, it's not the one. He's like, there's way too many fish in the sea. And I was like, okay, that's weird. I was expecting like safe sex and all that stuff, but that didn't work out that way. But basically, he was saying it for 2 reasons probably. One, he really didn't like my girlfriend. That's the only thing I could think of. 2, he realized that I was really young and that I still had so much future ahead of me that I should not be focused on family at the time. So I took that advice, and then again I was like, yes, this is my moment. He's giving me power to basically sleep with every single woman out in the world. Again, not a super popular guy in a very redneck town. So when I got to university, I tried to date around a little bit. It just didn't work out for me. But eventually I found the one and only. She got me. She understood me. We got along really well. She laughed at all my stupid jokes. So that was really important to me. And eventually, I betted her. And I was like, yes, this is my time. She's mine. It's not going anywhere. And so I told her I love her within like a month. And then she said thank you. And it was awesome. And I was like, you don't know it yet, but you love me. And so, you know, we ended up dating for a long time. And eventually, a couple months later, she did tell me she loved me. And so that's when I knew that I was going to start something new and fresh. And I was like, this is the one. I finally found her, and she's going to birth me like 100 children. And then we get to the wedding, and she was like, yeah, I don't really want any children at the wedding. And I was like, oh, shit. I was like, well, maybe it's just a moment in time. I can influence her later, blah, blah, blah. And I come to realize that guys really can't influence women. So don't try. And so eventually, as we progressed, she was like, maybe there's a chance, maybe there's not a chance. I'll kind of put it in your court. And so it was all on my court. And I had grown up with this idea that I needed a big family. And maybe it was cultural as well, that, you get married, you have a big house, and you have children. But when I was sitting there in the doctor's office, I just didn't know what to do. I was wondering, is this my moment? Is this not my moment? And eventually, I just closed my eyes, took a deep breath. The doctor came in, and then for a moment there was silence, and it was snip, snip. And just like that, and I kid you not, Dr. Snip basically made my decision for me. I could no longer have children. I made the decision for a vasectomy, and my life and my sperm count went to 0. Thank you.